He lived with lust. He studied with pagans. He wandered through cults and philosophies, and then he became one of the most powerful voices in Christian history. This is Augustine of Hippo, the man who went from spiritual exile to bishop and from doubt to conviction. And he didn't just shape Christian theology, he shaped Western thought itself. Born in 354 AD in North Africa, Augustine's life reads like a spiritual odyssey. His mother, Monica, was a devout Christian. His father, a Roman pagan. In his youth, Augustine rejected Christianity and embraced Manichaeism, a dualistic religion that blamed the world's suffering on a cosmic battle between good and evil. By the time he was in Carthage and Rome, he was a rising star in rhetoric and philosophy, but still, he was spiritually empty. That is, until he went to Milan, when he met Bishop Ambrose, read Plato, and began to hear another voice speaking, not through argument, but through his own soul. In his book Confessions, written around 401 AD, Augustine bears his soul with a raw honesty that still resonates. He tells the story of his addictions, his pride, his intellectual wandering, and ultimately his collapse under the weight of grace. And as I quote, he says, "You have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our heart is restless until it rests in you." This is not just an autobiography, it's a theology of the heart. He believed conversion wasn't just intellectual, it was existential. You don't just believe truth, you fall into it. One of Augustine's most radical contributions was his argument against the skeptics, especially the academic skeptics, who claimed that certainty was impossible. He fired back quickly. He said, "Even if I'm wrong about everything, I will still know that I exist. Ser falu sum," which means, if I am mistaken, I am. This proto-Cartesian insight shattered the idea that all knowledge is doubtful. He argued that inner knowledge, especially the soul's awareness of itself and of God, is more certain than any external perception. It wasn't enough for him to believe in God. He reasoned his way there, using Plato's abstract forms as a proof of eternal truth, and blending them with a Christian God who is not just perfect, but personal. But how could humans be free if God is all-knowing? In On Grace and Free Will, Augustine delivered a profound answer. God exists out of time. We live within it. For God, all moments are present. So his foreknowledge doesn't cause our actions, it simply sees them. And yet, even with this divine order, Augustine insists, we are not forced to sin, we choose to. Grace is necessary for salvation, but we are still moral agents. Augustine gave the church a view of freedom that honored both God's sovereignty and human dignity. After Rome fell in 410 AD, many blamed the Christians. Augustine answered with a massive work, the City of God. He drew a line between two cities, the city of man, built on pride, political ambition, and earthly glory, and the city of God, built on humility, faith, and eternal peace. Politics matters, but it isn't ultimate. Augustine said the church should stand above the state, not in raw power, but in moral authority. In a world burning with imperial collapse, Augustine pointed toward a kingdom that couldn't fall. Augustine wasn't just a theologian. He was a witness to the war within the soul. He showed the world that the path to truth runs through weakness, struggle, and grace. From Descartes to Luther, Aquinas to Nietzsche, echoes of Augustine's mind and heart rippled through Western philosophy. His words, penned in prayer and pain, still pierce through centuries of noise. Do not go outward, return to yourself. In the inward man dwells the truth. That wasn't just Augustine's message, that was his challenge.